Hey guys, it's Paradise, and we all love to see our favorite games cross over, and luckily for us, two of our all-time favorite franchises have announced a brand new collaboration. So as we promised before, we're going to keep you guys updated on any of the weird and wonderful Monster Hunter collabs. If you've played Monster Hunter Rise, you will know that the game doesn't really get much love when it comes to big collaborations outside of Capcom's roster of IPs, but with Monster Hunter Wilds on the horizon, we're hoping for a return to form. The reason we're mentioning this is because the collaboration we're talking about is a newly announced collab being between Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis and Monster Hunter. This is super interesting because it gives us a bit of perspective or a little bit of insight into what we can possibly expect for collabs in Monster Hunter Wilds. You see, normally collabs happen in reverse, like how we got Monster Hunter stuff in Final Fantasy XIV and then Final Fantasy XIV stuff in Monster Hunter. But as fans of both of these games, it's just fun to see how they actually execute and pull these off. For example, just take a look at one of the things in this new event. It's Tifa, but in Kirin gear. I think we can all agree and appreciate that this is pretty cool. Even if you aren't a fan of these two games coming together, it is pretty cool to look at, and then to theorize if your favorite games or franchises might get the same treatment. Do tell us what game you are hoping will get a Monster Hunter Wilds collab in the future, as there have been quite a few heavy hitters dropping, like Stellar Blade, Baldur's Gate 3, even God of War, and we would even love to see collabs with things outside of the gaming sphere like Jujutsu Kaisen. I mean, honestly, if we've had a Gundam collab in Call of Duty, pretty much anything should be on the table. So what exactly is the Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis content with Monster Hunter? This event will include a fight against one of the most iconic monsters in Monster Hunter, it's Rathalos, as well as a ton of equipable armor sets and outfits for the cast of Ever Crisis. The actual fight against Rathalos looks to be a boss battle in the arena from Monster Hunter World, and it looks like it won't just be the outfits that will be crossing over, as we can also see Cloud performing the True Charge Slash for that chonky big hit. This crossover is going to be happening from May, and you'll be able to get the following outfits and weapons. For Cloud, they showed him rocking a Glavenus armor set along with the Scorching Blazer, which was first introduced in Monster Hunter Generations. And next we have Zack, who is paired with the most popular monster in all of Monster Hunter according to a recent anniversary poll, as he has the Zinogre armor and weapons. For the weapon, what we can see looks like a new redesign of the Charge Blade from Monster Hunter Rise rather than a direct clone. And moving along from there, we have Tifa in the Kirin armor and a new weapon type. Because Tifa uses gauntlets in Final Fantasy, there isn't a straight match for it in Monster Hunter. We don't have any details on the amount of weapons that may be in Monster Hunter Wilds yet, so what if there are actually going to be gauntlets in Monster Hunter Wilds as a new weapon type? It has been a long while since they've actually added in a new one, and this is one of those things that we are hoping to see in Monster Hunter Wilds. It will just make the game pop that little bit more. But we can't forget about Aerith, and while there isn't a staff weapon, it's definitely been inspired by the hunting horn and Hinoa's outfit from Monster Hunter Rise. Finally, there's Cait Sith with his Moogle mount, and he's dressed up in the Kimura armor set as a kind of palico but with a horn. All of this stuff is looking very cool, and almost all of it fits together perfectly. If you want to try the game, if you're interested in it, you can play this for free because the game is free to play, and it's available on PC and mobile. So here's a rundown of what this game is, and it's basically a fresh retelling of the entire Final Fantasy VII saga. This includes the original game's story, its spin-offs, as well as new content that will fill the gaps between. The game features a blend of traditional turn-based combat, but with more modern mobile mechanics and episodic content. Its main draw is that it allows you to relive the key moments from the Final Fantasy VII universe, but in these sort of bite-sized chapters. The story is actually covering a lot of events in the Final Fantasy VII universe. It goes from Advent Children to Before Crisis, Crisis Core, and Dirge of Cerberus. This makes it one of the most comprehensive retellings of Final Fantasy VII, but we will say this is a gacha game, so beware if you don't like spending your cash. So as we can see from this, the Monster Hunter team is putting some amazing work into these collabs outside of just Monster Hunter games, so hopefully this means the future is bright for collabs in Monster Hunter Wilds. We still think that the Behemoth collab in Monster Hunter World was one of the all-time best collabs, and we're really hoping they do a crossover with Monster Hunter Stories, as now we have the sort of mount in Monster Hunter Wilds, so hopefully we can get some kind of Monstie skin for our mount. But do tell us what your favorite crossover has been so far in Monster Hunter and what you would like to see going forwards. But for now, we're going to leave you with the full trailer of this crazy collaboration, as they are best experienced with the music and audio.